Hi, Dr. Omni.
Hey, Aaron. I love that we got the memo without knowing there was a memo.
I know in the spirit already connecting. It's
Yes,
crazy.
indeed. You feeling good today?
Pardon?
Are you feeling good today?
I am feeling good. I worked out everything this week, so it's been wonderful.
Good, good. And I don't know how to pronounce the name, but Janaya.
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay, all right. Welcome. How are you, love?
Doing good. How are you both?
Doing very well for me. Aaron, you already answered.
Yeah, I'm doing well, but we love to have you, Janaya.
And it's not like y'all can actually smell my essential oils, but I felt like I wanted to put it on and get ready for the meeting. All right. So it is 2:55 on my end, which is Central Time, 3:55 on your end. So we will get started right at 5 o'clock, not 5 o'clock, right in 5 minutes. Well, I'm not gonna keep you on hold that long. But if you do feel comfortable, we invite you to turn your camera on so we can see who we are talking to and do that in about 5 minutes if you're okay with that.
Sorry, I'm kind of at work now, so I just wanted to keep the camera off because I know how to work the green screen and the background's a bit. Well, it's something back here.
We are not judging your background, not at all. So if you need to keep it off, that's fine. But if you think that you need to keep it off because we're judging your background, not. Mm-mm. This
Yes,
is
ma'am.
it's kind of like a come as you are type space. Be comfortable.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
But we really do appreciate that you chimed in while at work. That's pretty nice. See, you're already laughing with us. You might as well come on, get on the screen. But yes, we will respect your decision. All right, 4 more minutes, then we'll get going. And I'm going to turn my camera off so I can go get my tea. Tea is a must at all times. So I'll be right back. Right, tea in hand. It is 3 o'clock. Let's log on in. All right, 2:59. I'm early. Yes. All right, so Nina. Hello, Nina.
Hi, I'm trying to get my camera on.
Okay, no
Oh, I
worries.
got it.
No worries. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So everybody is here, and whoever pops on just happens to pop on. And I want to make sure that we respect your time to start on time and end on time with the option to stay later. So if we go through 30 minutes and you still have questions, I can stay on. And if Erin has availability, she can stay on as well. You might have heard me, Janaya heard me earlier. I reference you when I say, how are you, love, as a pronoun. So if you have certain pronouns that you like using, feel free to put it after your name. But love for me is also a pronoun. So I give that out freely. What we're going to do now is engage in some breath work, and then I'll tell you just that much about the Omni Institute and why we are here. And then Erin will tell you this much about it because she was in your shoes just last year. So, whenever we start a meeting, we start with breath work. So, if you feel comfortable, I invite you to close your eyes. Right as I closed my eyes, I heard the ding, so somebody just joined us. If you're just now tuning in, we're closing our eyes to be present with our breath. And this is how we start every meeting. And the reason why we do that is because I want you to slow down. I want you to be present in this moment. And if you can't close your eyes, that's fine, but at least focus on your breath. Instead of worried about your to-do list, worried about your next meeting, I want you to be present in this moment, silencing all the extra thoughts to simply inhale and exhale. Continuing in that breathing pattern, we stay slow, we stay focused, we stay intentional, and most importantly, we stay true to our name. We are the Omni Institute of Well-Being. So if we're not focusing on our well-being, if we're not filling up our own cups, it's hard for us to do our work. So we prioritize our breath in this moment as we collectively inhale and exhale. All right. Thank you so very much. All right, so we are recording this session. Yesterday's session was recorded as well, and I was just waiting to finish this to upload it to UROP. So if you need to watch it again, you're welcome to do so. But my name is Dr. Chris Omni, and I am the founder of the Omni Institute of Wellbeing. Eryn is on the line, and I'm not going to steal her thunder, but I want to give her her flowers and give her this introduction that she was a research mentee through UROP just last year. And her presence here today is not as a mentee, but as an intern. That she has now gone through the process of understanding what we do, who we are, and she's helping to build a brand to expand that knowing out beyond Tallahassee. So, Eryn Files, I turn this moment over to you so that you can do your thing, and I'll come back later.
Awesome. Hello, everybody. My name is Erin. I'm going to share my screen just so you can see a little bit of a slideshow that I prepared so we can talk about some of the experiences that Europe provides. Please let me know if you can see it in presentation mode.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Awesome. So this project is part of the Omni Institute's project overall, and it is called Dear Beloved SoulFlower, the building of a social media brand. And so our aspects of focus will be the social media. Just an overview, if you didn't see it online, the Omni Institute of Wellbeing is a mentorship and research organization that focuses on researching on wellness and Black joy, which is just holistically looking at the positive summation of experiences experienced within the Black community and looking at public health as a area of research focus in general. We are focused on Black wellness, but we're also looking into wellness as a whole within marginalized communities. And so the goal would be hopefully to expand to other communities. And so with that research focus, we have a journal coming out this year and it's called SoulClap. And it is a research and creative writing journal, which will seek submissions from students and community members from around the world and just focus on what does Black joy and wellness mean to individuals and what are those experiences that we can highlight and show that research doesn't just necessarily mean numbers, it doesn't necessarily just mean studies and strict one-sided definitions to what health could be. It's including our voices, our diversity, our experiences, and looking at it holistically, that research is whatever it is that our community is experiencing, and it's ensuring that we have that documented so that we can have everyone well represented. And so I wanted to share a little bit of my journey with the Omni Institute. The Omni Institute was something that I found through the UROP program, just like you all. I was here a year ago going through interviews, trying to figure out which project to join. And I came in as a pre-law student. And so naturally, my focus was I'm going to look at all the policy projects. I'm only going to talk to lawyers and criminology studies. And they told us we have to do one random project that doesn't fit that narrative. The Soul Clap project looked interesting. So it's like, I'll hop into that Zoom and then I'll just go and do what I had planned. Obviously, it didn't work out that way. I met Dr. Omni and Mr. Vincent during that interview, and they took time to do what you just did. We did breath work. It was a little awkward at first because I never had someone who told me to slow down and that they cared more about me than they did about work. And so I sat and I listened to our presentation, learned about research as a human-centered focus rather than something that was just for a resume or just to build a book. Dr. Omni and Mr. Vincent are very focused on holistic. They want to see the person and ensure that people are being represented as voices and as experiences and not just as numbers. And so that's what you all will experience if you join this project. When I joined it, we were working on building up the Soul Clap journal and finishing out a research project that I interviewed two women, which you can see here. We had Miss Sheila Hutchinson and then we had Mrs. Shiva, and they are two women from very different experiences. Miss Sheila was a health mentor for students in England and an area, Bristol, UK. And then Mrs. Shiva was a school teacher, but both of them had some Caribbean backgrounds and they were very big on using their voices and their life experiences to empower others in their community. And so my focus was Mrs. Shiva, and I had the opportunity to be present as Dr. Omni and Miss Michelle were interviewing her, and to really be in that process, hear her answers, and understand the importance, even at the age of like middle 30s and being a middle-aged woman, being a Black woman, to see how she had taken her experiences from college and elementary school and the rocky things that we go through as we're trying to discover ourselves and first entering the world, that now she was a middle-aged woman who was confident in who she was, discovering and solidifying her use of her voice and really using her journey to start a platform to empower other young women. And so we took those stories, developed a research paper in autoethnography, connecting our own experiences to the lessons that these women shared with us, and with literature review, understanding how Black joy is taken in the research sphere already, how people have written about independence, written about stereotypes in the world, written about eco-womanism and other principles that really analyze how do we show up as humans in this world and how can we use our connection to nature and to the resources in our communities and really connect with one another to make public health more human-centered and focus on wellness. And so that experience was incredible. I got to work on my research paper. I got to present with my wonderful partner, Gemini, who you see here on the left. And then as a student who was really performing well and being mentored under Dr. Omni, I was able to join Gemini and some of my peers at the Florida Research Conference for undergraduate students. And we were able to present and have that experience to really get out. And so if you take the UROP experience seriously, if you really want to have the opportunity to be published, learn what it means to do human-centered research, to draft your own questions to contribute to that research focused experience, and then also to present at conferences and have your voice out there and network with other students who are doing research in different disciplines, then I would say this is the perfect experience for you. As far as social media, I was able to help Dr. Omni to kind of narrow down what the goals are for the Omni Institute and make that a visual representation. And so we have the Omni Institute of Wellbeing officially locked in as a website. You are able to go and visit it now, and that information will be at the end of this slideshow. But we worked on putting together the pages, taking the presentations and research projects that have been done in the past, all of Dr. Omni's research experience, and solidifying it on one platform for individuals to come and see what the Omni Institute of Wellbeing was doing. And if you will be on this project, you'll kind of be able to see behind the scenes of the social media and media spheres. And so I took time to really build out all of the pages, organize all of the materials, and just create that solid foundation. And then from here, we're hoping to expand the brand further this year to really build up the social media platform. And so we're taking the brand research that we did last year, all of the core aspects of what it means to build a brand, to consider the mission, the goals, who your market audience is, how often you want to have engagement on your different sites, and then taking that to become something tangible on Instagram. So these are some samples of Instagram posts that I made last year. And we have the website that's going out within the next week. We're going to have an announcement going out for our journal for individuals around the world to start putting in submissions. And of course, you want to keep that engagement going. So we'll be working on really building up the content this year by having you all work with us on creating Beloved Soul flower letters. And that'll be your own reflections based on the research that you do within Black Joy and Black Wellness, and you'll be able to create your own reflections and have your words shared on our Instagram page. And so we're looking forward to an exciting year. I'm really building up content, creating that engagement, having you all share your own reflections and whatever content it is that you would like to share as Black Joy and holistic wellness overall to have your stories represented in research. And so this is kind of a general timeline for what you'd be working on, just to see how the art program goes. You'll have our roundtable and onboarding process this month. And then over the next 2 months, you'll be working on literature reviews, building up the database, and drafting your own soul clap letters that will be shared on our Instagram pages. And then we'll have in January and spring, obviously focusing on solidifying whatever it is that you have created into our poster. We'll walk you through the steps of what it means to give a research presentation and how you can have research shown holistically and just really make sure that you are able to present well. And then you have the undergraduate research symposium, the potential for presenting with Dr. Omni at the Yanni conference. And then if you are selected this year with the new cohort, the Florida Research State Conference. And so that is just a summary of kind of what I went through and what you'll be expecting. I'm going to pass it over to Dr. Omni.
Thank you, Eryn. Thank you so very much. And you know how I feel about those colors of burnt orange and green. Thank you for being consistent in that space of branding. So I would ask you to stop sharing your screen, and we jumped right on into the meat of this discussion. I want to turn it over to you. Nina, Janaya, Hannah, whoever would like to go first, please tell me, or actually ask any questions that you would like, but also tell me what is amplifying your joy right now.
I can go first. I'm a freshman right now. I just got here. So something that is amplifying my joy is just getting to meet new people and experience diverse perspectives. And I'm from Ohio, so I'm just meeting lots of different people that I don't usually meet in Ohio. And it's just really, really exciting and like really it's fulfilling me to be in such a diverse and like different space where like everyone comes together for like the common goal of, getting a degree. But yeah, that's what's bringing me joy right now.
Thank you for sharing that. And Ohio, what city?
I'm from Youngstown, which is like an hour from Cleveland.
Okay. Being from Kansas, I kind of understand some of that vibe, but moving to Tallahassee in 2020, I felt what you were feeling in terms
Yes,
of
yeah.
like so many different unique perspectives. So thank you for sharing that and making that connection. Were there any questions from Erin's presentation that you may have?
I did not, but am I correct in um like assuming that my role as a UROP assistant would be mainly like social media and just being present for like any interviews and any operations, but like what I'm creating as an assistant is like the social media aspect of it. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. So,
Okay.
in addition to creating or working on the team, working with the team to create the social media post, you will be doing the literature reviews to support what we're doing. A lot of times when people create content, they get on their phones and they just type up a message. But we
Mhm.
are applying research, we're applying arts-based research methodologies to what we do, and we will give you the theoretical framework and ask you to do some literature reviews to support that. Because when you create your poster at the end, you can't just put a list of everything that you put on social media. They're going to want to know the about section. They're going to want to know about your theory. They're going to want to know about your methodology. So we're giving you that background in arts-based research and tying that into social media.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, somebody else. What is amplifying your joy and any questions about the presentation?
Hello. Something that's amplifying my joy would be being able to come back on campus and like reunite with like all my friends that I haven't seen like over the summer. Then also getting to be more involved with like opportunities that I started last year and being able to really dip my toes and explore and do things that I really wanted to do. And then something I had a question like, what do you mean by like literature like review? Like, are we reviewing like documents or is it like interviewing or?
Excellent question. I'll turn that one over to Erin.
Okay, so a literature review is the process of breaking down a research paper that you find. And so you're going to have the topic of Black joy, something within wellness that Dr. Omni will give you. And you'll be going to Google Scholar, just any journal that you find, and really looking up a specific article that you feel really resonates with you. And then from there, you're going to take some time to annotate the article, point out any questions that you might have that you feel like the author didn't fully address, and just kind of summarize it as well and give us any quotes that stood out, any PowerPoints that you really want to highlight. And that's in a process that Dr. Omni calls the 3CQ, which you will have broken down, but you're essentially going to look for comments, quotes, questions, and a good summary for it.
So is the literature review gonna go on like a poster? Or is this something we're also gonna put on like the social media, like the Instagram?
So, a little bit of both. So, even though, and you said coming back, so are you a sophomore? I take it?
Hmm.
Okay. So, as a sophomore, at some point, you have either written or you're going to write a research paper. Yes or no?
Yes.
How many pages for your research paper?
Um, my last research paper was like about 5 pages.
5 pages. Okay. Imagine taking 5 pages, multiplying it times four. That
Oh
was,
wow.
no, 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 no. Not that you're going to do that this year.
Okay.
That's what they did last year. So, what they had to do to come up with that much content to cover that wide of a topic was review articles that had been written by some peer-reviewed process. So, when you go through your UROP training courses, they will show you how to access the database through FSU Libraries is one of them. Google Scholar is just something that's accessible to everyone. And there are multiple databases that they will teach you how to access. Then you would type in a keyword to help inform your search instead of looking at all the almost millions of articles that are out there. But how it works towards Europe is if your topic for a love letter, I'm gonna make this up. Your topic on a love letter is the peace lily. I'm looking at plants around me. What is it about the peace lily that really speaks to you as a person? Because you're going to be writing these letters. You're going to put the metaphors that are related to peace lilies. You're going to find the research that has already been published about peace, about plants, about container gardening, about soil. You're going to dive into all those little aspects to make a final paper and product, which is your poster. So no, you're not putting the whole 3CQ on your poster, but each one of them helps to inform the final product. Does that
Yeah.
answer your question?
Yeah, that makes more sense. And
Okay.
then my last question is just like, what made you start this project and like what makes you like really passionate about it?
Oh, I like it. So what made me start the project, and I will end up, I'm checking my clock. I'll end up eating all the time with this. What made me start this project is my mom died from cancer in 2016. And with that cancer, she lived with cancer for 26 years. Probably 9 months after her death, I decided to go back to school and get my second master's degree in public health. And while working on that master's degree, I was hearing all about what's wrong with Black women. All the statistics of we're 42% more likely to die from cancer, 60% more likely to be diabetic, 80% of us are overweight, 54% of us are obese, and it's a laundry list of things that were wrong. And it was just heavy. It was just so hard to keep hearing. And then I'm writing about it and presenting about it. And then I got tired. Sometime in 2018, 2019, I made the shift and I said I no longer want to talk about what's wrong with Black women because my mom lived all that time, 26 years battling cancer, but she still lived with joy and nobody's telling that joy story. So that was the reason. And specifically, it was March 31st, 2016 at 10:20 a.m. when the seed was planted for this adventure into the space of Black joy. The space of nature engagement is because I moved to Tallahassee in 2020 and I didn't know anybody. And my first friend was a tree. So the tree helped heal me. I cried with the tree. I talked to the tree. I hugged the tree, and it became my space of spiritual engagement. So, two reasons.
I think that's it for my questions. Thank you for answering them. Your
Yes,
story is super inspiring. Like when I was reading like the description, like for the project, it was just really beautiful.
thank you. Thank you so much. Janaya, what's amplifying your joy and any questions?
I think for me, amplifying that's like something that's amplifying my joy is really just like my interest in music and cars. I really love cars and I think they're very interesting. So that's something. Um, I do have a question. So firstly, sorry about your mom, but like hearing you like talk about like, her battling cancer and made me think about my grandma. And like this project, the main reason why I'm interested in this project, I should say, is because like mental health is something that I'm like passionate about, especially in the Black community, I should say, because I feel like some of us just don't take it as serious as we should. And I know I've lost like so many family members to it. Sorry, getting on topic, but with what we have to do in this project, I was wondering if there's like any type of support system that you have set up basically for people who will get like emotional, I want to say, you
Mm,
know, and it kind of
mhm.
like absorbs them in a way.
Ooh, that, hold on, let me fan myself on that one.
I'm so sorry.
No, 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 no. Do not apologize. That was a beautiful question that I had to face in, what was it, 2022, I believe. While working on my dissertation, one of the arts-based research methodologies that we incorporate is picture taking, which will be introduced to later on. But I had a research participant walk with me in at Piney Z, and her responsibility was to take a picture of as many things that amplified her joy. As she got ready to take this picture, it was of Spanish moss from a tree. And she paused and really just held space in that moment and could not move forward with the walk. And as the researcher, I am there to observe all the things that are happening and hold space for it. When we were finished and she explained to me why she paused, it was because she felt the ancestors present and the conversation and historical pain associated with lynching. So, seeing the Spanish moss flying from the tree reminded her of bodies swinging from the branches. I didn't think that when looking at the tree, but I was grateful that she brought that to my attention so that I could be prepared for questions like this. So, the answer, only because I just lived it going through the dissertation with her, the answer is to one, hold space for your emotions. Two, allow and honor tears. For me, tears are cleansing, tears are healing, tears are professional, tears are a form of communication. And if you have a 7 hour block that you're supposed to finish in the week, and you come to me and you say, I just can't because my head, my heart, my mind, then you take that time off. That's the priority. And when I get to know you, you may not even have to tell me. I will lean in and sense and feel your energy and ask you, Janaya, if you need to turn the camera off, feel free to do so. If you need to leave the meeting, feel free to do so. Feel free to reach out to me later. Then on the professional side, because I am not trained in mental health techniques, I am an empath and I am a mom and I am a person who has dealt with her own mental health diagnoses. So I would turn that over to the professionals, being FSU and their health services program. So we have structures in place to hold you and support you and honor you as you go through that. That was a long answer, but very passionate about the question.
No, ma'am, you're fine. That was perfect because I was just like reading over it and I was like, okay, I feel like with a project like this, it can make you feel so many things. And I was just like curious about like if you ever like worked with a student who just like let the project consume them emotionally. So thank you so much for answering my question.
You're absolutely welcome. And may I turn it to Eryn if you feel like adding any more because you've been there.
Do want to say it feels very emotional quite often because you're having conversations with women who are 40, 60 plus years old, and you just see yourself in them. And you don't have to be a Black woman to experience that. For those of you who might not be, like just to have topics like what does it mean to use your voice at work? What does it mean to be burned out on a daily basis? What does it mean to have like certain social roles or certain responsibilities? And reading the articles and hearing like interviews that you go through every day and then seeing it reflected in research that someone might have done 2 years ago, just knowing this is a problem that still exists and I might have to face it one day and like what in the world can I do to even help diminish this issue in society? And I think that does get heavy, but I can say Dr. Omni is always there. The research interns that exist and Mr. Vincent, they're always there to listen to you. You feel that support whenever we walk into the space. We do the breath work, and it has become a very big part of me. It's very grounding. Even when I go into other interviews or other spaces on campus, like I take time to breathe. So I think this project, it will feel emotional, but at the end of it, you'll feel empowered. And like last year, I would never wear my hair out. Like I would never be comfortable being myself. I was still going through that journey. And now, like, I feel so much more grounded as a person after going through this project because I'm aware that it's okay to do what I need to do for my wellness. And so you'll be helping other people with the research you do, and you'll also be helping yourself.
Couldn't have said it better. Thank you. So I have 3:29 on my end, and we want to absolutely respect your time. We're supposed to go for 30 minutes. But as I mentioned before, we will stay on the line if you have any additional questions. And if not, we will get ready to close out. Are there any questions? No? Okay. What we normally do is we open with breath work, but we close with 3 signature steps. The first step, and they all connect to the power of touch. So I want you to think that in the beginning, we open with the power of breath, and in the end, we close with the power of touch. So the first thing we do is give a high five. So put your hand up on the camera. Give me a high five. Yes, yes, yes. Janaya, I can't see your 5, but even if you're at work, do it real quick so that they can see that. All right, there's your high five. That's step number 1. Step number 2 is give yourself a hug. This hug is important for several reasons. 1 is touch, but 2, sometimes people go weeks without a hug. You have the power to give yourself one. So we hug at the end of every meeting. And the last one is hope. Hope for everything. Hope for tomorrow, hope for today, that one breath, that one opportunity, hope to change the world and fill it with love. So thank you for selecting this particular UROP project to learn more information. It's my understanding that if you want to proceed, you can proceed on Monday after 8 a.m., I think, to reach out for interviews. We are hoping to make or schedule interviews the week of the 15th. And Eryn, please stay on the line. I need to talk to you about your availability. And then the first day of fall is the 22nd, and that's when we want to notify. According to the UROP timeline, you don't have to finish your compact until like October 6th or 7th, but I like to align my work with new moons and full moons and seasons. So with fall being right around the corner, we're going to do that. And Eryn is preparing for a viral launch of Soul Clap social media, and that will be the next day. So whoever comes on the 22nd, you're going to be right there before the big viral launch. So thank you so much for joining us, and reach out via email if you have any questions.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. You
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you. All right. Let me